Hi guys, welcome back to our social space. This is Tech Engine for those who are new. My name is Beryl and today we're going to be discussing careers as young people who are just completing school or have been out of school for some few years now. Where do you start? How do you start? When do you start? And what are the alternatives that are available out here? We're going to be dwelling much on engineering because we have a guest speaker who is an engineer and one of us is also an engineer. But regardless, you can always learn a thing or two. Subscribe, like, share, comment. I hope you enjoyed the video.
We wanted to have this session to just get your opinion and your, like, if you could share your experience.
Work experience in terms of the profession that I did, I had a very small bit, I think a year or two, but it was not an interesting experience. That is what also pushed me to go and to come and study more so that I can at least escape that frustration of graduate, but you're not appreciated and all that. But for engineering, the thing is, in Kenya, as I know it, most of the opportunities, you get them after you have attained a master's degree. It's an advantage because you've got so many graduates who are out there who are not employed.
Yeah.
With a basic bachelor's degree course. Bachelor's degree has become like the former Form 4 certificate in Kenya. It's not a good thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing because we are now in a system where we're creating so many high-end qualifications. We have so many managers, but very few workers.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Initially, we used to have the system that works is that we have tertiary colleges. Let me call them colleges or technical schools, which would train your bricklayers, which would train your welders, which would train your people who do the actual work. And then you have fewer, as you go up, find fewer people who now are above them, where you are. In our system here, in South Africa here, we've got technicians. Technicians are from technical colleges, and then we've got technologists. Also, those ones come from technical colleges. And then we've got now the engineers. Engineers come from the universities, the traditional universities, meaning that the universities that offer bachelor degrees. So that hierarchy is there, so that we have got an engineer, but who has people who are qualified under them, who can also supervise some work, who have also people under them who can do the work. So the training is like this. We have got fewer people on top, more people, but they're all qualified because they receive that particular training for whatever they're going to do. But in Kenya, we have come to a system where we are like this. Nobody wants to do a certificate anymore. No one wants to do a diploma. Everyone wants to do a degree, a master's. So we have very few positions at the top, but we have everyone at the top who is trying to fill those positions. Every corner as a college, as a university, not sustainable. It's not sustainable, and that is why we are having so many young people frustrated, because you spend so much money in education, in higher education, high quality education, meaning that you're highly qualified, but there's no employment. And it's not because we don't have jobs, it's because the job you trained for is not cannot accommodate you. The other thing is that now we find, like you now, if someone tells you today, ende kwa mtu wa mkono, like uanze na kuchimba mtaro, pima nini, you'll find it very difficult.
Yeah, definitely.
Because of one is you're not trained for that. That is one. It's something that you expect anybody to do. So you can't say with my qualification, I'm going to do that job. That qualification there's a mismatch in qualification and the work. Then the other thing is the pay. Obviously, it won't match your expectations.
Yeah.
So those two things will make you not take up a job at the lower end, even if you could. And then that means that when there are very few people to do the actual work, those people are not skilled because most people don't go for training at that level. In fact, engineering is not supposed to be all. Here in South Africa, they have restricted it so much because they know that at the end of the day, you're not going to have positions for all those engineers.
Yeah, it's true.
You need to have technologists, you need to have technicians, you need to have the artisans, the trade people who specialize on bricklaying. Someone just studied bricklaying. So you study it and you know in and out of bricklaying. You study welding and you know the ins and outs of welding. And then you end up with very high quality products. Not using numbers in a left and center. Because supervising laborers who do not have a clue of what they're doing, because they are, and this supervisor is also at a level where he does not pay attention to it at a very high level. So there's a gap there. There's a gap, very big gap where someone who is supervising people who are unskilled. So it can't work in the engineering field. And that is why we've got so many problems at the moment in terms of lack of quality of work. Simple thing as drainage. You find maji naosha barabara every now and then. Barabara kwenda kutoka Kisii kwenda sijui wapi inabomoka. Sijui wapi inabomoka. You wonder. It's very simple. Hakuna mtu anajua because there's a gap in skills. There's high-end skills and no skills at all.
Yeah.
And that gap is what is missing. Remember, when you're doing a master's, you don't just go and say, I'm doing master's in civil engineering. You're going to master particular. And to master something, you have to be very narrow. You can't be wide and still master something. You have to go deep. For you to go deep, you have to go narrow. So you're going to specialize. That is how it used to work. And it used to work very well because you are trained for to head a particular section in a department or to head a particular section in a ministry or anything. So it used to work so well. Everything was done by the government, paid for. You go there, you train for a year or two, you come back. Your employment is still there, you're still being paid and everything. You come back and you continue with your duties. You see people going out on their own. They go out and they look for opportunities elsewhere because they know very well if I go back home, I have to start tamming again. And you know certainty that you're going to get for you in that process of tamaki. So that is the other thing of masters. So
people that are going out doing masters, they are going out for good.
Yeah, that is why, because they don't want to come back and be frustrated.
Because there's better pay.
Because of the experience.
There's better pay there. There are better structures to give them jobs.
Exactly. And all the people in the ministries and all that do not want to leave. They want to stay there. They want to employ their relatives. They want to be given money to employ people. You have to bribe. So there are a lot of things. There's issues of tribalism. They want to employ people from their communities. It's a lot of issues that you have to deal with. And then remember, when you go, most people who go out to further their studies, it's because of frustration of not finding a job. So you have that phobia in your head that bad experience. So that if you want to finish education and go back, you're thinking of the trauma of how you stayed out of school for so long. You couldn't find a job, but you're qualified.
Yeah.
So you end up just saying, I see Kenya when I see Kenya.
Okay, what about the aspect of knowing exactly what you're going to specialize in? Because without having that experience, you basically know you basically have very narrow knowledge on whatever you want to, whatever is good for you. So because you can't find that thing now, so you want to go and do your master's and specialize, but how are you going to even know what exactly?
That is why people need guidance. You need to have a mentor. You need to have someone who has done something that you like, that you would like to do. So you say, okay, I've identified that, I'll give a random example. I've identified that Pierre Lumumba was specialized in this type of cases of as a lawyer. Then you start identifying. That was a far-fetched because it's someone maybe you will never reach. You'll never go to and talk to a Bandova population. But the people in your community or your surrounding, or that someone knows who you can just talk to and say, what did you do? How did you navigate these waters to get to where you are? What should I do? Is this a right move? Is it a wrong move? Because even there's a lot to consider. The issue of the country you're going to, if you're going to do your master's outside, the issues of sponsorship, the issues of which one offers the best, the universities you're going to, even in that particular country, because all countries have got a wide range of. You can have those that are offering, that are just offering degrees everywhere to everyone. Nobody recognizes those degrees in those particular countries. So even you, when you go out, you're going to still have question marks when you go to that qualification in that particular country. But there are those universities which are recognized in the country, and you know that if I get a degree from this particular university, then I'll definitely be accepted anyway. And then the other thing is, so there are a lot of things. So what you need to do is get someone who has been there, who has done that. That is where now mentorship, because on your own you can't. These things that you will take, I think, 4 times the time you should have taken to get to where you want to. If you just do things by yourself, like everything is new to you. You'll meet so many challenges, you don't know how to navigate, you'll come back and forth and everything. But if you find someone who has been there and who can show you that, okay, this step, do this way and do this, you can take quarter the amount of time to achieve what.
You said that experience going for placements and internships helped you determine what you wanted to do in your master's. Now for Frank who didn't do placements, how can you go about it right now? Like, should he start applying for internships, quote unquote, or like just pick something that he was interested in uni?
I don't know if because that experience is very important for engineering. I don't know how they allow people to graduate without that experience. The industry is a little bit messed up. It's not like your medicine or which are a little bit still more organized. But a lot of tags in construction. You could go to projects. If there's a project that is somewhere in the middle of, you're driving to Nakuru and you find a site established in somewhere in between somewhere, you just go in and ask to talk to the project manager and tell them, hey, I've done this and this and this and this, and I want to be attached to this. I like whatever I'm seeing here. I want to learn from here. I know the issues they have is always payment. They normally don't want to pay for training for those people who are getting trained. I also didn't get payment. Once you get in, the good thing is once you get in, you get your way.
Just so you know, the challenge is working without payment is a bit of a challenge when you don't have payment.
Yeah, but now you see, you're calling it work because you want to work.
Take a sacrifice of going for payment, but in the long run, you'll get what you deserve.
Being a fresh graduate is a challenge because everyone is looking at you as inexperienced, as a burden, but if you can show some initiative and all that and work hard, you can get what you want. The industry is not regulated. I don't know why doctors, to be a doctor, to practice, to open your practice, you have to be a doctor. To be anything, I don't know why in civil engineering, anybody can
have an engineering firm and constructing firm.
Exactly. And
And they'll be given projects in government.
as long as you can go for get a tender somewhere, you're good to go. That's
Yeah.
all you need. You only need to give you a tender. So it's but it's not regulated, and that is what is killing us as engineers, civil engineers. At the level of masters, very few people would want to employ. You also know that.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something. Subscribe, share, like, comment, all that good stuff. And bye bye.